What's up, Leafs Nation? Welcome back to another game preview. I'm Zack Phillips, and today we're going to be taking a look at game number 41 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season, officially at the halfway point of the regular season as they take on the Philadelphia Flyers here tonight. We'll dig into the lines. We'll dig into our best bet for tonight as we look ahead to the milestone marker of this season, and it is all presented by Bet365, proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame and the Leafs Nation After Dark. Open an account Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. That's code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N. All caps, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Okay, let's get right to it here. Let's get into, first and foremost, tonight's line combinations for what we're looking at, and kind of tried to wait throughout the course of the day here and push this one back a little bit to see if I could get any news, updates, information, because typically on the second night of a back-to-back, you don't find anything out about any changes until a little bit closer to. The team obviously here today is not going to be taking morning skate. They're not going to be out there doing line rushes, like nothing like that. So even then, it's just going to be news information that we find out via coaches or interviews or press conference, whatever, ahead of time. And then obviously once we get to the game, then we'll find out the final stuff there. Okay, anybody in, out, what changes could actually be official at that point. But for right now, these are the lineups we're looking at for tonight, and these are courtesy of Daily Faceoff. Same lines as last night, which I think is obviously the right decision. So first of all, let's just go a quick rundown of these. First line, had an unbelievable night last night. Matthew Knies is right where he needs to be. If he continues to play, obviously, if he plays like that every night, yeah, that would be the most amazing thing in the entire world. I'm not expecting 3 goals from him every night. I'm not even expecting him to score every night. But if he plays the way he did last night, every night, then this team will be in a much, much better position, and his line mates will benefit from that extremely there. Matthews and Marner alongside of him. The second line did not play that well last night, which was interesting because I thought that they actually started the game pretty well in that first period. I thought it was like they had some jump, they were winning some battles, they were winning some races, and it kind of just tailed off. I don't know if it's just some fatigue setting in on Johnny T, on Pacioretty. Tavares has really stepped up, especially with Matthews being out and taking on a big role. So maybe some of that caught up to him. Maybe now with Matthews back, he's going to be able to kind of calm down a little bit. It get some of his legs back. I don't know. But the other thing was William Nylander did not have a very good game last night and hasn't for the last couple. I don't expect that to be a thing like on a consistent basis moving forward. I think Nylander snaps out of this and he'll be fine. So second line, I'm fine with. Third line here, yet again, like this is a top 9 now that I'm looking at where it's like it's no longer your 6 or your 2 lines with 4 guys and some complementary pieces that are okay on the wings with them, and then oh wow, a very different bottom 6. This is a really good top 6, a really good third line here. We'll work on the fourth line, but this third line, Bobby McMann, Max Domi, and Nick Robertson, has found ways to be impactful in pretty much every game since the return of Bobby McMann. Obviously a lot of that is on the back of McMann, who has been lights out since returning from injury, but this third line has been really good, and they stick together here tonight. Fourth line, Steven Lorentz, David Kampf, Connor Dewar. Last night, if you look over at moneypuck.com, look at the expected goal share, how these guys kind of matched up versus their Leaf teammates, versus each other, and versus the Bruins. They were the worst on the ice in terms of expected goal share in the entire game last night. I don't think that they were that good. They had a couple of good shifts, but the overall body of work was really lacking and left us wanting more. That's kind of how they've been over the last little bit. You know, we're constantly looking at them wanting more scoring, wanting more production, which you're not going to get regularly. But the thing is, I look at outside of Steven Lorentz, Connor Dewar, Pontus Holmberg, David Kampf, these guys are the same player. They are effectively vanilla, kind of just guys who are out there. And I think that we're basically at a point now where you can't have these guys, like looking at the contrast of the first line, the second line, the third line, they've got guys on there who do all different things. You know, even just kind of quick rundown of this. Knies, he's your prototypical power forward. Matthews is the big goal scoring center. Marner's the playmaker on that line. Pacioretty fills in with a similar role as Knies on the first line. The physical guy who wins battles and gets in the corner. John Tavares, net front kind of guy, great puck playmaking ability, wins battles along the wall, behind the net, in front of the net. Nylander, he's your superstar on that line. He's the guy who pushes things over the top for offensive generation, goal scoring, etc. The third line, McMahon, power forward, Domi, playmaker, Robertson's your shooter. All three of them are playing physical. Look at that fourth line. Steven Lorentz, he's the one with the most jam and kind of energy, excitement, physical presence on that line. David Kampf is a non-offensive face-off winning centerman who's defense first. Connor Dewar, non-offensive, defense first. Neither of them are that physical. Pontus Holmberg, kind of the same way. It's not like they're overly fast. It's not like they create too much. Not like they're exceptional finishing abilities. They kind of are just out there, which can be okay, but you'd rather have a little bit of, spice in that line on just one of the two guys there. So if those guys can play better tonight and they can kind of find a way for one of them to step up and kind of distinguish themselves, then you get to a point where, hey, maybe we could be a little bit more happy with the fourth line. But as of right now, I personally am not that excited about it. So those are your lineups for tonight. Currently, what we're looking at for the defense is going to be basically same as last night there. Jake McCabe and Chris Tanev, Morgan Riley, Philippe Myers, Simone Benoit, Ekman Larson. I thought everybody on the defense was okay last night. Fine last night. I'm glad McCabe got on the board. Obviously here, I would like to see Ekman Larson and Morgan Riley generating more offense. I love that it was McCabe, and I love that the defense scored, but Ekman Larson and Riley are the guys that I look to and say, hey, they're the ones who need to be scoring. So those are your defensive units. Power plays remain the same as last night as well. The big four plus Morgan Riley. The second unit, obviously Nylander still remaining out there with them for a full 2 minutes in a lot of situations. Nyes, Domi, McMahon, Ekman Larson, and Pacioretty otherwise. So the five guys who kind of filter in around William Nylander. So those are your lines for tonight. As per our goaltending and what we're going to be looking at against the Flyers, on the opposite side for the Flyers tonight, we're getting Ivan Fedotov, Dennis Hildeby back in net for this Leafs team. Dennis Hildeby getting back in net. The one thing that I'm looking at for him in this game is not necessarily on him, actually. It's more so on the guys in front of him. How are the defense, the forwards, going to play defensively? How are they going to tighten up in the D zone? Are they going to allow fast breaks and odd man rushes and the Flyers to get chances in transition? Because if they are, Dennis Hildeby might be in for a long night. Not really because I think he's a bad goalie, nothing like that. Just you don't want this young kid getting hung out to dry. And if things go sour early, then maybe it gets to a point where confidence is shattered and it's because the team aired him out there. So that's one thing I would like to avoid for this team tonight. But Dennis Hildeby does get the start. Let's get to our best bet, and our best bet segment is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Leafs Nation pregame and Leafs Nation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, N-A-T-I-O-N, code NATION, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Okay, here's our best bet for tonight. We're going to go over to Bet365. If you've been following along, we are on a bit of a freezer right now. Just going to be honest about that. We lost, I think it was 7 in a row first. Got us down for one of the first times in this season, down units on the year. We won 3 in a row after that, got us back in the win column and got us back positive. And then we are now have lost the last 6 in a row here coming into tonight. So I got to be better. There's no way around it. I got to be better. And what we're going to be going with tonight is a prop that I think you guys will be able to get behind. And I think it's a good one here. I think it's a fun one for us here as well. We're going to go over to the player prop market in the Leafs Flyers game, and we're going to take a look at the top of the board, and we're going with an Austin Matthews anytime goal plus 110. We're going to go $75 on this one, so that's going to be like of our unit size, a 3/4 unit. You guys play it however you like to, but that's kind of where we're at on this, the confidence level, the edge that we're seeing here. 3/4 unit on Austin Matthews anytime goal at plus 110. The way he played last night, he looked exceptional. On top of that, it's not just how good he looked, it was how engaged he was physically. He was in every battle. He was attacking the front of the net. He was not shying away from any kind of physical contact or physical presence, like nothing. He was involved in everything, and I think that that's a really, really, really good sign for what we could see here today. The other thing is that we are getting an Austin Matthews who is now with a Matthew Nyes who seems to have got his confidence and his swagger back. And if Matthew Nyes can do that, it's only going to help Matthews. It's only going to help Marner. And I feel like this line will be able to find the back of the net a lot going forward. So Austin Matthews, anytime goal is tonight's best bet. Look to get us back in the win column. That $75 profits you $82.50 for tonight. Those are your best bets. That's your lineup breakdown. If you did enjoy this one, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel. If you're watching on Twitter, like, retweet, share. I also want to see, drop your predictions below. Drop your comments. What do you think's going to happen tonight? Who's winning? Who's scoring? Who's not? Are the Leafs able to maintain this? Is Hildeby going to get thrown to the wolves? Like, you guys let me know what you're thinking for tonight's game in the comments below. Thanks as always for watching. We will see you back here following tonight's game, game 41 of the season, for the halfway marker game for another Leafs Nation After Dark. Until then, keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take, Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos. Make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.